So, Michael Shellenberger says that there's at least 30 whistleblowers, UFO whistleblowers, that have come forward. This is amazing. We have that and a lot more to talk about today. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, and it's time for another UFO News Roundup. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Oh, and if you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Okay, let's just get right to it. What exactly does Michael Shellenberger have to say about these 30 plus UFO whistleblowers?
I think what's important to point out here is that, right after Grush's testimony in July, a lot of people said, he's one guy, he's relying on secondhand information. He hasn't actually touched any exotic materials or spacecraft. But now we have reports from multiple sources, including people that have had direct contact with these programs, telling us that indeed many of Grush's claims were accurate, including about the retrieved craft around reverse engineering programs.
Michael Shellenberger goes on to say that the IG, there are signs that the Inspector General might be doing an investigation, as has been speculated on before and talked about before a little bit. The word investigation was actually left out of the letter that he wrote to Tim Burchett, Anna Paulina Luna, and Muskowitz, trying to get a skiff with David Grush. So it would be weird if the IG didn't perform an investigation, but he didn't talk about it in that letter. So we don't know what's going on behind closed doors there. From Michael Shellenberger's article on Public, he goes on to say, and yet the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community, Thomas Mannheim, on September 15th appeared to deny in a letter to Congress that his office was investigating these claims. Mannheim said that his office has not conducted any audit, inspection, evaluation, or review of alleged UAP programs within responsibility authority of the DNI that would enable a fulsome response. A fulsome response. Okay, interesting. They haven't performed an audit, inspection, evaluation, or review, but he doesn't use the word investigation. As Michael Shellenberger himself points out, Matthew Pines, a civilian intelligence analyst, noted last week that the official taxonomy for ICIG activities includes audits, investigations, inspections, and reviews. Is it curious that an investigation is not denied? The investigations division is structurally separate from the audit and inspections and evaluation divisions. So yeah, a really great point. Thomas Mannheim did not use the word investigation in that letter. So he's not saying that they didn't perform an investigation. That's a double negative. Does that mean they did perform an investigation? Let me know what you guys think. The article also says, but the sources who asked to remain anonymous and are all in a position to know told Public that, in addition to the whistleblowers reporting wrongdoing, between 30 to 50 government employees or contractors have gone to the DoD's Arrow to offer testimony about UAPs. So, okay, so that's fascinating. So we have whistleblowers reporting wrongdoing. I suppose that means they're going to the IG. But we also have 30 to 50 guys going through Arrow. Now, I don't have a lot of faith in Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, the lovely Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. So we'll see where that goes because, Kirkpatrick is pretty much the fox guarding the henhouse over there, or so it seems like. Maybe with this many whistleblowers, though, he won't be able to contain this information, and it'll force this information to come out. I certainly hope so. I have a little more faith in the whistleblowers going through the same pipeline that David Grush went through, that is going through the Inspector General, who doesn't seem to be a huge advocate of disclosure or transparency, but at least David Grush was able to get this information out to us through the IG. Michael Shellenberger also says that whistleblowers are afraid. And I can totally understand that. I would hope that the experience with David Grush has encouraged them. People took him seriously. He's still alive. He testified before Congress. Legislation is being passed based on what he said. So I would hope that experience would embolden future whistleblowers to come forward. I know some aspects of it might not. We don't know what sort of reprisals David Grush faced. That has been concealed from us. We know that his house was broken into at one point, and we know that he suffered from, and others suffered from, what he calls administrative terrorism. So that's about all we know about the reprisals. So we don't know exactly what their fear is based on. Although, of course, there are decades and decades of reporting of the Men in Black and the control group actually taking people out. And David Grush himself has alluded to this. Well, he said it directly. So but again, he is still alive. And so I would hope that future whistleblowers would be emboldened by this. In any case, it looks like at least 30 or more are going through some sort of whistleblower process. Hopefully, some of that information will come forward, hopefully soon. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, Nick Pope is saying that it is outrageous that ministers are not taking meaningful action to probe U.A.P. UFOs. The Ministry of Defense needs to restart U.A.P. investigations. A task force of some sort needs to be set up, and the Defense Committee needs to start holding the MOD to account on U.A.P., as the Armed Services Committees are doing in the U.S. and both the Senate and the House, he told Mail Online. Mr. Pope accused defense officials of falling back on lazy, closed-minded, it can't be, so it isn't mindset, meaning potential foreign threats to UK shores could be missed. So it looks like all that's happening in the U.S. because of David Grush might be stimulating the UK into following suit, potentially. And Nick Pope, at least, is certainly calling for that, and I hope they take up the call to arms and actually do something about it. But, we'll see if they do, because, of course, like the U.S., they have been covering this stuff up forever, and they have probably been working with the U.S. to do that. We've heard numerous reports of the Five Eyes Alliance, for example. So, although it probably goes beyond that. The Lance Corporal Weigand story, he was talking about the Chinese being involved in the UFO control group in Peru back in the 90s. So this very well could be a worldwide conspiracy of silence. For example, we have the testimony from Haim Eshed, where it looks like Israel is also heavily involved in all of this. And we know certain countries in South America, like Brazil, have cooperated with the U.S. On these sorts of things. Like in the Virginia case, the U.S. came in and seized that UFO and the bodies of those beings. And that might turn out to be a very significant thing, because we might be getting a whistleblower from that encounter, a military whistleblower, who transported one or both of those beings back to the U.S. He might be coming forward publicly. That might be the next shoe to drop in all of this. But in any case, whether the other countries, like in South America, are directly involved in what's going on, or if they are simply cooperating with the U.S. and the Five Eyes and the other countries, they are at least helping in some sense in the cover-up. So yeah, absolutely the UK needs to do more, but they all need to do more. Meanwhile, from this article on Fox News, NASA reveals latest weapon to search the heavens for UFOs, aliens. Artificial intelligence and machine learning will be essential to finding and proving the existence of extraterrestrial life in UFOs, NASA said. We will use AI and machine learning to search the skies for anomalies, and will continue to search the heavens for habitable reality, NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said during a September 14th press briefing. AI is just coming on the scene and can be explored in all areas, so why should we limit any technological tool in analyzing using data that we have? Well, absolutely, Bill Nelson, use every tool you have, including all the evidence you already have that you've been sitting on forever, or at least NASA has, even brutally enforcing their cover-up in some cases. But it is interesting to get AI involved on this. I just watched the episode of Beyond Skinwalker Ranch with Chris Bledsoe, because that season finally became available on Amazon. I was waiting for that to drop. I was having glitches with the History Channel. Yeah, it was really interesting. They have these cameras that they've developed, or somebody's developed, and they use AI to target truly anomalous objects. They can tell what's a plane and what's a satellite, and if it's not a plane or a satellite or a drone or anything known, it can target them and lock in on them. So I absolutely think that AI could be a very useful tool in getting to some of the truth behind UFOs. Shellenberger also identifies these guys who are actively undermining disclosure and transparency. So it looks like these guys are in. We've talked about Mike Turner a lot. We haven't talked about Mark Warner or Lloyd Austin, but it appears, according to Michael Shellenberger's research, that all are enemies of disclosure. Does that mean they're in the employ of the control group? No, it doesn't. It may just mean they're under the sway of the big aerospace companies. All of them have large donations from the aerospace companies, so that's entirely possible. Okay, that's it for me for today. I hope you've enjoyed this UFO news roundup. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.